everyone, I am Marie, and me and the magical fairies are coming to you live from Living Felt because it's Happy Woolly Wednesday! Hi everyone, happy Woolly Wednesday and happy holidays wherever you are and whatever holidays you celebrate. Thank you for being here with us today. If you've stumbled across this feed, this is the live show. We're gonna hang out for a while and we're gonna make these fun little reindeer head ornaments. Super simple, beginner friendly, but no matter how experienced you are, this is therapy right here. I mean, so if you just need to feel good, making these cute little guys is really lots of fun. They'll make great gifts, great gift tags, great ornaments, whatever, and they're so fast. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And thank you all for being here. Hope you guys brought your supplies. I know I didn't give you a supply list, but anyway, you can get them together pretty fast and we'll show you what those are. I want to say hi to a few folks. We have some friends across the pond. It's so nice to see you all. Carrie is here and Gloria. They're both in the UK, although not in the same place. Leslie in Oregon, hi, and Karen in California. Thank y'all for showing up today. Stephanie in Florida, Julia in Guernsey. I think we always say hi to you because Guernsey is like... We're kind of in love just with Guernsey. We have Mercy in Berlin and Barlow in South Dakota, Consuelo in Mexico, Crystal in Indiana, and everyone else. Thank you so much for joining us today. We love hanging out with you and spending a little time to make fun stuff. If you don't know, this is an interactive show. So there's a chat window going on for all the live peeps. Join in the conversation, contribute, let us know what's happening. I think we posed a question and you're going to want to answer this one. How many of you are wearing any kind of holiday attire? I don't care, your Christmas socks, your antlers, a hat, a Christmas sweater. We want to know. Tell us what you got on right now in the chat. And we like to give away prizes to people who participate in the chat and also to participate after the live show in the comments. So on that note, we have a couple of prizes to give away from last week. Now, last week we made our Loxy Christmas trees and y'all plumb bought us out of locks on those. So we completely ran out in like a day and a half, gone. But we're gonna give away some prizes to Christine McCrary and Gail Farmer. Thank you both so much for contributing to the conversation after the live feed. We're going to be sending you a little prize box and we'll reach out to you. If you're not in our database, make sure you go to our website, scroll to the bottom and use the contact us page and give us all your information so we can get your prizes to you. So those winners are Christine McCrary and Gail Farmer. Congratulations, gals. Now, the fairies like to do some kind of show and tell or shares with you and just kind of share their fairy magic. So the first up is Miss Fairy Hannah. Yay!
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? I just had a little show and tell. I've been working on a lot of different scarves and neck warmers because it finally got cold here in Texas. I mean, cold for us, which is probably about 45 or 50 degrees. But this is just going to be one of my nino felted scarves. And you can see that it is nino felted onto a pongee or a habit tie, which is the heavier weight silk, which I really loved because it did all this gorgeous puckering and ruching. And then it's just felted with the 19.5 merino top. I've got some sari silk waist in there for texture and some really fun hand-dyed Margolon silk on that top layer. So just wanted to share that with y'all.
Lots of love there, Hannah.
Thank you so much. Y'all are always so kind, and thank you for joining us today. And next up, I got Miss Fairy Holly for y'all. Bye.
Woo!
Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you our little chickadee kit. So first I'm going to show you how absolutely adorable these little guys are. Whoops, there's two. The kit only makes one, but this is just to show you can flip around your colors and do different colored scarf or the little sweater. They're cute, they got little tails and I really love their little feet. So the kit is perfect, it's easy for beginners and it comes with the foam and your needles and all the wool you need, and it's a great way to dive in and learn how to needle felt around that armature and kind of get your feet wet on a 3D needle felting. So me and my little friends here are gonna bounce on out and give you Miss Fairy Ann.
Hey y'all,
Aw, thank you so much for spending your Wednesday with us. I wanted to share one of my favorite winter kits that we have. It is the Needle Felting a Snow Village kit, originally designed by Miss Kimberly Czar. And one of my favorite things about this kit is how customizable you can make it. Look at all of these sweet little little houses set here on the snowy hill, and of course we're going to send just some glitter for the top of these acorns. The kit is going to come with written instructions, a photo of each step, core wool, pine cones, and a bunch of different MC1 colors as well, so you get to choose what color to make your houses.
Aw, Carol Cheever says that's on her Christmas list. And oh, let's see now. I saw this. It's going by so fast, and you're getting lots of love. And you look so adorable. Noelle says, "And you are rocking that outfit."
Thank you very much. All the crew here know that I wait 364 days a year until I can bust this thing out again. Next up, we have got Fairy Kayla.
Hey everybody, Fairy Kayla here. I'm showing off some more festive winter goodies here. I'd like to bring way too much stuff in my hands when I come in here. So I'm showing off our snowman ornament today. And ornament kit, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Let me just start over. Yeah. So this kit is awesome. It comes with all of the supplies you'll need. It's great for beginners. It comes with all of your core wool, your needles, your foam. There is a small amount of armature working in it, but you're gonna learn this awesome skill to build basically your snowman out of just a little tiny bit of wool. You don't need any armature in it, but there is some. And you get enough to make one of these guys and two of these guys. And it also I'm sorry. It also comes with written instructions too, so if you work better with written instructions, we got you covered here.
Lots of love for your sweater.
Oh,
Mandy Harden
thanks.
says your Christmas cat sweater is perfect.
Oh, thank you. I only get to wear it just 1 month out of the year, so I gotta wear it while I can. And I have a question for you folks. You know why the snowman retired from playing sports?
Why did the snowman retire from playing sports?
Because there was snow competition. A daily dose of fun. All right, Marie, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Kayla. And can I just see a big round of hearts for the fairies? For those of you who don't know, this is our crew. They, as I always say this, but they are just always filling the house with magic. They make everything we carry and send to you. They answer your emails. They answer your phone calls. They're the ones writing the love notes on your order. And yeah, just lots and lots of fun. So thank you for playing with us. We're super excited to be here today and make these little tiny reindeer ornaments. Now, that doesn't take much, or like I said, you can turn it into a pin. You could even turn it into a necklace to wear. I thought about putting a blinking nose in there, and I know someone's going to do it. But I didn't get to it. So I don't know if they come with like maybe a little battery pack or something tiny. But these are really fun to make, and they take only a smidgen of supplies. Let me show you the fibers that we're working with today. And this is actually a little pre-recorded video. So we're going to go through it together because we filmed all of this for you in advance. And it's a really quick, fun project. So y'all ready to jump into it? Remember to answer the question. We want to know who's wearing your holiday garb. Tell us what you're wearing. We all dressed up for you, obviously. Okay, guys. So I have in front of me here our signature fiber, which is our MC1 fiber. This little project is going to start with two things. One is our CW1 core wool. This is an example of what the roving looks like. If you have the batting, you can just strip it into smaller increments. So it's the same fiber, it just comes off the drum carder in a different way. So we're going to start with core wool and a full-size chenille stem. That's how we're going to form the base for this little guy. And the wool colors I chose are right here. So let me show this to you. We have black onyx, that's just a little dot for his eyes. I made my reindeer out of chestnut, one of my favorite browns, and relatively new. I mean, it's only a couple of years old, I think, we came out with chestnut. Caramel, always a popular color for animals and lots of things actually. I've even made a little doll with a skin color caramel. And then today I chose vintage red for his nose. And the only other thing we have is a white dot in the eye, and I actually just used the core wool for that. So any old white against the black will work fine. Now these are big amounts. These are 2-ounce bundles, and they unroll into about a 10 by 20 inch length, but you don't really need this much to make this guy. And I brought our smallest increments just so you can see what size those are. This last year, we started making our fiber available in smaller increments. And again, this is called MC1. And so you can get it in packs as small as this, which are a 1/2 ounce. And just so you get an idea of what that looks like, I'll open the chestnut for you just so you can see what a 1/2 ounce looks like. So let's look at that. I shouldn't open it on camera. It's loud. Funky.
Yes, your reindeer antlers are getting so much love.
You gotta wear them. Okay, so now these little strips, we actually make them into longer strips. And so this is what a 1/2 ounce looks like. This is an extension piece. So it's about 20 inches long is what a 1/2 ounce looks like. And, oh, that camera's not gonna work. That's okay, I'll do it myself. So this is a little hard to see against this color, but let me bring in this is the guy we brought in last week, just so you can see what that color looks like and about how much a 1/2 ounce is. It's a pretty healthy amount. So if you're just trying to test out a color or you just want to make little things, check out the 1/2 ounce increments. They're really super convenient. Okay, to make our little reindeers, what we're going to do is get to this right here. This is what we're going for. So I'm going to share with you a little video of how we get here. Let me go here. This is how we get here. So we're just using a chenille stem and a little ball head. The only other things you'll need when we get to that point is a way to hang him, and I brought some ribbon and some jute twine, and we'll look at that. So I'm going to kick off this little video here for you, and let's look at how to make this reindeer head. Bear with me as I need a second. Here we go. Now this video is going to, oh, I don't need the audio. This video is going to be uploaded to YouTube sometime after the show, so that it will be, actually, this video will be recorded, of course, but then we'll also have no audio and just a little music. So if you just want to watch just the tutorial, you can. I folded my chenille stem in half, and now I've just given it like 4 or 5 twists. And on that twist is how we're going to form our little reindeer head. So notice that I'm stripping the core wool down into a very narrow length, very narrow thickness, but a long length. And that is because you're going to have a lot more control for forming a really firm understructure if you can control the fiber. So you want to be able to wrap this very tightly. And I didn't stick it between the loop, I'm just wrapping around the area that I twisted there. So multiple twists, and then notice that I let the fiber stick off the end and then folded it back over. We're going to wrap it, open those up, and then wrap it around. And you just want to get it, in the beginning, it's going to be pointy, kind of like a longhorn head, you know? It'll be pointy, and that's just fine. You just want to get a basic understructure going. And I'm using a very coarse needle. Pink 36 is a coarse needle. We have a coarser one, it's a blue 32, but a pink 36 for this will be just fine. It's a coarse needle. And if you get needles from us, then our little needle card tells you who's what and what they're good for. So this part takes a little bit of time to get this, all the air out and get it compacted, but spend a few minutes and you definitely want to make the understructure nice and firm. Notice here that the first thing I did was park the wool. I parked the wool right on the ball before you start wrapping the next round, and needle felt it down. The most important thing is at every stage to keep the wool really nice and tight and secured in place. So let's just get to this little ball being in place. I'm anchoring the first piece down, and then you're just going to wrap around and shape it so it's round.
So I go over the top a few times and then like a ball of yarn, twist around the side a few times. And what you see here is I've used about half that second length of core wool. It didn't take very much. And if you're using our core wool, it'll anchor to itself. You saw how I just twisted it in my hands. That just gets it to grab onto itself. You can let go of it. It's really quite magical. And you want to go through this phase and make sure you get your reindeer head the shape you want it. Now you might decide that you want yours to be a broader head or a broader head on top and narrow on the bottom, or funny, narrow on top and big on the bottom, whichever it is. You can do it how you want, but for ours, we're just going to make it nice and round, and then we're going to cover it with our chestnut. Okay. Oh, I thought the video music was off. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Thanks, Rodney Jean. Okay, so we're going to cover with the chestnut, and all I did was peel a little tiny thickness there, so that I'm going to put on a thin layer and wrap it around. Sorry, y'all, I didn't mean that music to be on. It's supposed to be off. It'll be on the original one. Okay, so notice that all we do is we're going to get a little thin layer here and wrap it around our piece. All we want is 100% coverage. Like, you don't want to see underneath that white. And the first thing I'm doing is anchoring down the brown with the needle, and I'm using a 42 triangle needle. I like to use a fine needle for this because I'm on the surface, and I would rather just avoid making big needle marks if I don't have to. And I'm patient enough that I'll use my 42 to get this top layer of wool laying down. Do you have questions or something, Anne?
Someone's sharing that the volume of your speaking voice is a little bit low.
Oh, is it? I'm too low today? Okay, I'll try and speak up. Maybe it was just that the music was on. Okay, maybe that was all it was. Sorry about that. That's my technology, trying to drive and watch at the same time. So notice that I went around the top of the reindeer head first, and now I went around the side to wrap the wool crossways. So just north and south, and then what you're seeing here is just the result of needle felting. If you see how tight all of that is, it's just the result of needle felting for minutes and just getting it all to lay down. I didn't do anything fancy. I just kept using my single 42 needle to flatten all of that fiber down and get it really nice and smooth. Now you can still see some needle marks, but keep in mind that we're going to be putting on our little snout and our eyes and stuff, so there's plenty of time to smooth it the rest of the way out. All right, so from here, what I like to do is form the antlers, and for that I'm using the caramel. And notice that I've pulled off just a little tiny piece. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm making the snout. So the snout and the antlers are both caramel. So I'll make the snout first. Sorry, y'all. I'm just rolling it into a little tiny ball. The same thing you've always seen me do. Roll a tube, tuck in the ends, and then roll it into a little ball. And I'm going to use my 38 spiral needle to shape it and get it nice and round. I'm not going to needle felt it all the way because I want to anchor it onto the face. So I'm going to do more of the shaping once it's actually on the face. And notice that the first thing I do is just needle felt around all of the edges and get it anchored right onto the face. I wanted mine to look kind of like a little baby reindeer, kind of like a stuffed toy. So that's kind of the look I'm going for here, is kind of playful and sweet. And hence the location of the eyes and the snout. So notice I've switched back to my 42 triangle. Just use the needles that you're most comfortable with. But when I have these very final layers on, I like them to be super smooth. Okay, 36 triangle. This is great for, besides forming a foundation, is making deep punctures or deep lines. So I can just drive that needle in and make my little eye sockets.
Even though I'm not putting in glass eyes on this little guy, I wanted to kind of make eye sockets so that they were in just a little bit when I put my wool on and not sticking off. But this is a great eye socket even if you want to put in little glass beads. Kevin says, when felting such small figures, do you have a tips for preventing poking your fingers? And that for me is just to keep your piece on the foam as much as you can and needle felt towards the foam and not towards your fingers. It's a great question, Kevin, because you tend to poke through. And then just keep your eye on the needle. Okay, poke, 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 and then we're going to twirl. That's always the way I do it. Poke, 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 and then twirling captures all of those little ends of the fibers. How many ounces of core wool, please? Lynn White, I couldn't even weigh it, like 1/10 of an ounce, maybe. It's so little. It's so little, it wouldn't really probably show up on a regular scale. And now the same way with a little dot. So notice I don't form it first. I just put a little extra wool on there, poke it into place, twirl it, poke it. The funny thing is, you know, with these little things, you can always poke it in more. If it's too big, you can poke it in more so that it disappears inside the sphere. So you don't have to make them too big. And the only tip on the dots on the eyes is you always want them on the same side. So not both on the outside or both on the inside. They're either both going to be to the left or both to the right or both to the top or both to the bottom. So you mirror that and yeah. Oh, okay, look, so here I'm making the little eyebrows and I just twisted a little tiny strip of wool over my needle. You could use a toothpick or something, but it'll slide off the needle more easily. And you could also do this with stitching, by the way, if you have thread or something. And, I'm just going for that playful, goofy little baby look. I don't know why. Oh, Brenda's asking about more antlers. We'll get to that. Jennifer says she's used the twirling tip for now and it's been a lifesaver for eyes. Okay, little nose. This is so easy, y'all. It's just really fun to make, and they're really, you could queue up a few of your little bases with the antlers and just the core wool on it. You could make 3 or 4 of those and then, make 3, 4 more of these. I think they'd be super cute. Maureen says he's getting personality. Meg Egert says she's turned her entire family into needle felting with great results, so she's had to come back for more supplies, but Grandma loves to encourage the kids' creative juices. Oh, cute. Now, you could do anything you want with this nose. You could make it stick out, you could make it a little bead that's like sitting right on the end, there's so many things you could do. I wanted mine to be semi-flush on the end of the nose, but there's no rules when it comes to this stuff. Just have fun with it. Debbie Norling says she loves the 1/2 ounce.
Joyce shares, this project is so much fun because you could also turn it into a moose.
Oh, yeah, that's cute. You definitely could. Yeah, somebody asked about the antlers. Brenda Hodges, I guess, about when we get, and these antlers are super duper easy, and this is the quick way. Okay, so I'm bringing in a little felt sheet here because I'm going to make the ears. And when you make something super tiny, I think we addressed this in a really recent video, it's easy for those pieces to kind of get buried into the foam or even attached to the foam. So the felt is just going to be a little barrier and work surface at the same time as I make the ears. Make both your ears at the same time and pull off the same amount of wool. And I just start with a little fold and then I'm going to shape it into a little rounded ear, but you want to get them a little flat first. We did talk about this. What was the last thing we made besides the trees?
Needle felted ornament.
Oh, the bear. Yeah, we made a polar bear. So remember on the polar bear ears, one of the things I said was it's easy to have too little wool when you're wanting to make ears or something. Definitely go for a double fold because you need some wool to felt into the wool. Wool to felt into something needs to felt into each other. So at least go for a double fold, a fold over so that you have some wool to felt together. If it's too thin, it always just stays straggly. And peel it off your felt before you go too far and needle felt from the other side. There's no harm in needle felting front and back so that you get them flattened. And I just immediately flipped mine over and start forming my little cupped shape. And you do that just by pinching the ends together. So super duper easy.
Anne says you could even use a sequin for the nose.
Oh, that sounds cute, really. um,
Lori says these would also make great earrings.
I agree. I agree. I think necklace and earrings, I think they'd be adorable. So spend a little time on these ears just to get them felted, but notice that the part I'm pinching between my fingers, I'm not felting that. I zoomed in here just so you can see that we want to keep loose so we can attach to the head of our little reindeer. So with your 42 triangle, remember it's shallow, shallow pokes, and see how I've kind of cupped it onto the head and made it low, again, going for this little baby reindeer look. And I'm just using a fine needle. In this case, I'm switching between my 42 triangle and my 40 triangle, both fine needles. You just want it well attached and to completely blend in to the rest of the head. So needle felt all around so that you can't really see those lines and you get it well anchored on there. If you feel like you have really obvious lines of where you've attached it, just put a tiny patch piece over the top. You can just, this MC1, you can pull off a tiny patch and cover it up. So here's my little guy, and he's already ready for his antlers. Okay, this is so easy, y'all. Check it out. I just am going to bend the antler, and it's like, I know you're going to want measurements, but notice that it's more than half is sticking down the other side. I was about like 2 fingers width, or in that case, I'm showing you my thumb. So my thumb plus a little bit to bend over my thumb. Hold that. Bend that up, give it a bend in it, and then pinch it back down. So see where it comes back down to, not quite to the bottom? That's how much you have to work with. And then I just give it a pinch, and I'm just going to twist that little end piece so that it kind of anchors on to the rest of the antler. Really super easy, low tech. Now somebody else, Brenda Hodges, I think, asked, what if you want to make your antlers bigger? Could you add more? I would, but you know what I would do? I would add it into the base structure before you get to now, because that way it'll be nice and secure and you can have more chenille stems coming out of the head to work with. Okay, so pull off a real tiny strip of your caramel, and I want to wrap this for myself. I want to control this as best as possible, and I found this little nubby bit was kind of hard to come back to, so I decided to start there. And notice that I'm twisting the piece and not the wool, because that allows me to keep it tight. And it's sticking over the end just a little bit, fold it back over and tuck it under the fiber. Now again, if you're using a really long, oh, see I have a little tiny piece of vegetable matter in there, and I just want to get it out before I have to needle felt that tiny part. And we'll just needle felt it down with a 42. Shallow, shallow, shallow pokes. Pretty easy to do.
Oh, so fun. Shannon says these are going to be great to make. Dawn says thank you so much for the tip on the antlers.
They're so easy and fun. Okay, so I went around underneath the Y and then up to the top, just so that it was anchored under there. All of that you're going to be able to needle felt down. You mostly don't want it looping off. You want it to really hang on to there. And again, we're going to go over the end and stick it off a little bit so that we can fold it back down. Just tuck it under there and wrap around it, and that helps anchor it down. If, like I said, if you're working with the a longer staple length, you may find that it doesn't grab so readily, and you might need to needle felt it. You know, you might need to hang on to it a little more tightly. It's longer, but still it doesn't necessarily grab onto itself. And when you get back down to the bottom here, well, then you can just pull your fiber off. And all we want to do is needle felt it so that it's nice and smooth. Looks like I went over the top one more time. I like to cover up, you know, any obvious folds if necessary, if I can. And there's just another tiny piece of vegetable matter. Vegetable matter doesn't really matter until you're in the surface layers. And when you're in something so small like this, you don't want it to be so obvious. And look, you know what? If you're not happy with your initial wraps on your antlers, these are so simple that you can take it off. You can snip it off instead of destroying your little wire. You can just cut it off with scissors if it's just not working for you or it's too bulky. This is kind of tiny, so it's a little fiddly, and having a really grippy fiber like the MC1 will save you. And notice that, you know, I'm really just needle felting back into the fiber on the piece. You don't have to go you don't want to go back all the way into the foam because then your antlers will be fuzzy. And I found I was having a little more success with my 40 triangle, especially on those joints because there was a little more wool there and I really wanted to anchor it down. So easy, easy, easy.
Leslie says, wouldn't they make really cute place cards?
Oh, that is a great idea. Place cards. That sounds so nice. Yeah, I think they'd make a nice little dressing on your gift. Okay, so here's my little guy, and all he really needs is a way to hang him. I couldn't find a little tiny wreath. You know how easy those are to find, and I just couldn't find one. But I'm just gonna hang a ribbon on him, and I think we taught this method last year, or I know we did with our owl. We taught how to do this. So I'm using a nice button thread. Use something nice and thick, and something that's really strong. You don't want to be able to break that thread with your hands. And you just really need a needle that's long enough to go through your piece. I'm using our 5-inch doll needle. I didn't need a needle that big, but it's what I had on my table. And the thread is going to anchor our ribbon in place. So I'm coming up through the bottom, up through the top of the head, and then back down so that I can make a loop. Now right here is where the firmness of your piece is really going to count. It's really going to matter because we want to be able to ultimately tie this thread very tight and not distort our piece. So it is important to have a piece at least semi-firm. Okay, now we have a loop in place. Now you can run whatever hanging ribbon, jute, twine, string you want to use. I'm using our red satin ribbon. This is available in the shop. We brought it in just for this season to make it kind of convenient. And I'm just showing you how much I used. Was about 2 wraps around my fingers. Just to, an easy way of measuring.
Cherie asks, why not add the wool around the antlers before starting the head?
I didn't want him to get roughed up. Yeah, I just feel like the more you're rolling it around on the foam, the more they're going to get roughed up. And that gave me a place to anchor the wool into. Now, all I do is tie a knot at the top of my ribbon. I don't know what you guys do. I just tie a knot. I mean, I suppose I could loop it back down to the bottom of the head and put something there, but it never bothers me to have a knot on the top. I don't know why. So first we secure, get that ribbon in place, and then we're going to make a really tight knot on the bottom of our little reindeer head. So here's where that firmness comes in. So we're going to pull that really tight so it almost looks like the ribbon's coming out of the top of his head. And you want to be able to pull this very taut without his head distorting. If the head distorts or smushes or gets flat, then you know that you could needle felt a little more firmly. Which made me think, as I was doing this, I thought maybe what we do next year for our birthday, which is in March, Living Felt's birthday is in March, that maybe we do our string jointed bear, which we've never done. I think that would be, we've never done it on a tutorial.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, so I'm just tying a knot, and notice how the head is not distorting. It's keeping its shape. And what you can do with this fiber is we're just going to snip that thread off and patch that little hole with the same MC1. Just, it doesn't take much to cover that up.
Lori says, the knot on top is a signature of handmade.
And look how easy it is to just patch that up and cover it up. And it's totally invisible now. Nobody knows. And I'll tell you that in the future, if it ever comes undone, well, then you can just do it again. If somebody happens to rip it out, then you can just do it again. So there's my little guy. He's all finished. And yep, really fun to make. Really fun to make. I look forward to seeing if you gals make these too, and what personalities you give them, how you might change it up. Now, I know Anne had suggested when she saw these little guys that she thought they would look really cute on a bow. And I suppose, what would you do, Anne? Stitch it on the bow? How would you anchor him on there?
I would either use a safety pin, so you could make it removable, or glue. I'm lazy.
or glue, and maybe hot glue. But Anne is going to show you how to tie a perfect bow, which I think is just awesome. Anne has some mad like paper crafting skills, and she always makes us some cards throughout the year, but you might not know that she has some mad bow skills as well. So you can figure out how to tie it to your bow, but we're gonna have Anne show you how to make the bow, right? What's that? Oh, we're gonna spin the wheel? Yeah, we're gonna spin the wheel, but no, we don't have to spin the wheel yet. Come show us how to do. We'll spin the wheel in a minute. You come show us how to make a bow. So here's Anne. Are you gonna sit or stand?
I can
stand?
sit.
Okay. I'll turn down when you're ready. I'll be your cameraman.
Oh, thank you. So I wanted to share with y'all a really quick way to make a really sweet, simple bow that you can customize a little bit. It's also going to be very, very secure. So if one loop or one end gets pulled, it's not going to completely unravel. It's also going to give a really flat surface right in the middle, which would be perfect for anchoring your pieces. So I always have to start with a really, really long piece and then just cut off what I don't want. So here I started with a piece that's about twice the length of my forearm. And the first thing we're going to do is take this end, fold it over. We're going to take the other end, feed it back through. So we've got an X at the top. Oh, I'm a little off camera. Here we go. This is better. So we've got an X on top, line on bottom. Next thing we want to do is move these so that the loops here are the exact size that you want your finished bow to be. So we're going to make them about this big. Alrighty. So now to get everything tied together, we're going to take the right edge. I'm going to move this a little bit so you can see exactly what loop I'm working on. We're going to take this guy, bring it all the way through this loop. Oh, unravel just a little bit there. Alrighty, so we're going to bring him up and around through this loop. A little bit back down. We want to leave it so that there's enough space for you to pull your fingers through this loop. We don't want it all the way tight just yet. Next, oh, there we go. Alrighty, so next, to kind of help bring everything together, we're going to take the left end, come all the way back over the top. Oh, and I just got everything fell apart. Why?
That's okay. You can do it. Do it fast.
I can do it. Okay. Super duper quick.
Underneath. Okay.
Underneath. So we've got our X. I'm going to go back, take this guy back through this loop. Here he's resting nice and neat. We're going to bunch it up, pinch the entire thing between our hands here. Take this guy, bring him all the way back around, and then we are going to feed him through. Alrighty, so the actual part of the knot that we're looking at is or the bow is gonna be the back. Then we're just gonna pull everything so that it's nice and even. And this is a really great time if you need to adjust the way that your bow is sitting at any point. This is the perfect time to do that. Then you're going to pull it just so it's nice and it's holding firmly. And then here we go. Here's the top. I'm upside down. So here is the top of the bow. You can kind of make any adjustments that you need to. If you want it to be a little bit smoother, or if you want it to be a little bit flatter, you can take the ends and the loops and just pull them gently. And there you go. You've got a sweet, simple little bow with a nice flat surface that you can adhere onto. And then if one of these ends gets pulled, it just gets tighter. It's not going to unravel.
Oh, that's so cool, Anne. That's so cool. And now show them, this really makes sense like on this big bow that you made.
Yes.
So they can see.
So this was a big bow. It's one of those, it does have wire in the sides, which is definitely handy dandy for making all of those loops, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool, Anne. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for hanging out with me this afternoon.
I love the bow lesson because, you know, I kind of struggle with tying bows. I don't know about y'all, but like trying a neat bow. And I told Anne that I knew that there was a way to tie a bow so that it had that nice little knot and that flat surface. And thank goodness she knew how to make it. So thank you, Anne. Hey, y'all, listen, we've just had so much fun hanging out with you this year. It's been a great, great time. We want to give away some prizes now. This is our last show of 2020. So we're going to say, hey, it's been fun, but it's time for 2021. We're going to be off the air for a few weeks. We have not posted next year's live schedule yet, but we will. We'll either start in the second week of January or either the first week of January or the second week of January. So we're going to be off for 2 or 3 weeks. If you want to know the schedule, make sure that you visit our group, Living Felt Friends. That's where we are. In between now and then, you can check out our school, feltingtutorials.com. Lots of fun to have there. All of the teachers are going to take you ground zero, step by step, but definitely look at the skills. So, you know, you might not want to start with the dress class if you've never wet felted before, but we have dress classes, hat making classes, landscape classes, wall tapestry classes, dragon classes, bird classes, so many fun projects. So check out the school. And are we going to give away some prizes, Anne?
We are.
Okay, so she's going to come in. Now listen, how many people were wearing Christmas stuff? Do you have a number of people?
Over a dozen.
Over a dozen people were wearing Christmas stuff, and let me tell you why that's so important. Because for you, we are going to spin the prize wheel. So Anne's first going to draw me a name out of her prize wheel bucket. So for people who are wearing your festive garb today with us, just being kooks, Anne, draw a name for me. Let me know who you have, and I'm going to spin the wheel for you.
Alrighty, I've got Lori Girl in Tennessee.
Lori, girl, you're always here. Okay, Anne, you come spin the wheel. Give it a really good spin. So let's see what we're gonna. Should we need to move it up here a little bit? I'll move it up. See? All right, Anne, give it like a real fairy spin. Come on. Oh, man! Is she gonna complain? She wins the goodie box. That's a fairy surprise right there, Lori girl. You win the fairy surprise. Well, you better draw another name for me, and I'm gonna spin this one. That was weak. Come on, draw another name for me.
Alrighty.
We're going this way this time.
Linda Arndt.
Linda Arndt, it's your turn, girlfriend. Are you ready? Marie's spinning for you. Here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Come on, Wheel, give me a good prize. She wins a Living Felt mug. I mean, just my favorite thing right here, made by our friend Joanne Strategos from Mudworks Pottery in Pennsylvania. Yes, she's a Living Felt BFF, so Mudworks and Woolworks. Look for her on Instagram. Both names. We always, in fact, our story was something that she had felted yesterday from the school, which was a hat she made with Don Edwards. So you win a BFF mug. Congratulations. One of my favorite prize possessions. Congratulations, gals. Now we're going to draw some names for people who have just been participating, regular or old, in the chat. So come on up and let's give away some prizes. What are your prizes today?
The prize today is a needle felting a fox 2-dimensional kit.
Oh, that's fun, because it is really a fun little project, huh?
It is.
Yeah, it's fun to learn, it's fun to practice, and if it's not for you, then maybe it'll be for a friend. But you get all the colors, you'll learn how to, I think, make some fiber blends in here, and we're going to give you a fun pattern to follow, and it's real non-threatening because it's not realistic.
Yes.
It's like art card or greeting card style little fox. All right, so let's draw some names.
Alrighty.
You go.
Okay, let's see if I can. Thankfully, there's no spinning involved in this part.
Get to practice your spinning skills.
I'm gonna have to practice by eating a lot of cookies, I think.
We're going to start on that tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay, we each got a name. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, who do you have?
I have Barbara Grabowski.
All right, and I have Sherry Lister. Congratulations, gals. You both win a needle felting a fox kit. And if this just isn't the one you want, well, we also have a needle felting a cardinal kit. You can let us know. Visit us. If you're not in our database, meaning you've ever ordered anything from us, go to the contact us page on our website. Let us know. Hey, if you make something with us today, please tag us on Instagram at Living Felt. Let us know. We're going to start sharing more and more of what y'all make on our website and on social media. So take your best pictures if you want to get featured. Join us in our group, Living Felt Friends, and we hope to see you in our school. I may not have one. There it is, feltingtutorials.com. Until next year, y'all, we wish you very happy holidays, whatever holidays you celebrate. And thank you for spending so much time with us this year. We'll see you in the group. We'll see you when you order. We'll talk to you on the phone. You can reach out to us. We're here Monday through Friday, except we're closed this Thursday.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we're closed for very important business. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.